me a car with dead Colombian drug lords in the trunk? I mean, imagine my surprise when I was gonna put dead Mormons in there to find dead Colombian drug lords. Oh my goodness. So we went inside to the kitchen, and I was prepared to fix Eric and myself a drink, and of course give him a generous portion of some liquor. However, Eric was a little smarter than that, unfortunately for me at the time. Eric had the good sense to opt for tea. I happen to adore tea. In fact, I enjoy it thoroughly. However, that was not what I was planning. But he began to elaborate upon the whole reason why Disco sold me a car with dead Colombian drug lords stuffed in the trunk.
Disco had asked me to help him do a couple of runs. He took me to their house and introduced me to some of the guys that were slinging the stuff. I didn't think much of it. I figured it'd just be a way to make a lot of money really quick. And that's how I met Bronze. He was a cop working both sides of the law, if you take my meaning. They had me and Bronze work together pretty regular like, so we got to know one another. So we got kind of close. He'd come over to the house, we'd play cards, throw back a couple of beers. Even Disco would come and hang with us every once in a while. And everything was going real good until they saw a photo of you on the mantle, and then the conversations always turned toward you.
All that over little old me, who'd have thunk it? And I was just laying there thumbing through a magazine while he was talking, listening to him. It was beginning to feel like old times. So I closed my eyes and I let my imagination take me back when. And I was just resting my eyes, mind you, I wasn't asleep. And the next thing I know, I feel Eric's fingers in my hair. So of course I opened my eyes and batted my eyelashes for half a second, thinking I was still dreaming about it. And there's Eric, shirt undone, practically naked on the couch next to me. Now mind you, had this been 6-7 years ago, it would have been a different story. However, we're in the here and now. I shot straight up in that couch and sat up and looked at him right in the eye. I stood up and left the room without saying another word to him.
Snow, wait! Wait a minute, Snow! Don't run off! Damn it! Finally done. I didn't realize cremating bodies smelled like barbecue. Kinda makes me hungry, which is kinda disgusting, really. What I really need is a beer and to wash my face. I wonder how Eric's managing Snow.
Oh, excuse me there, Disco, I didn't see ya. What's that smell? Smells like barbecue. Kinda makes me hungry.
That, my dear, is the smell of dead, burning Colombian drug lords. What's up with you? You look paler than usual.
Eric just couldn't keep his hands to himself, so I had to step out of the room. Oh my goodness, Sugar. That's what dead bodies smell like? I was right when I told Samantha we could do a fried green tomatoes barbecue. It was at that moment when I formulated my plan.
You know, Snow, Eric's never told me the reason why you two split up. So what's the story?
Disco had made it easy for me. He let me in with that little statement. Disco, there really isn't much to tell. He lied to me, and I don't take kindly to being lied to. That's why I always like doing business with you, Disco. You're always upfront, forthright, and honest. I admire that in a man.
Ah, so that's what it was. He won't talk about you much, and he won't tolerate anybody saying anything good or bad about you. It's obvious he still has deep feelings for you. What a joke. Now, if you excuse me, I got a date with a shower. I stink pretty bad.
Disco was being a little more difficult than I had anticipated, but no worries, I would figure that out soon enough. And that little tidbit of information he gave me about Eric made that angle a lot easier to work. Oh my goodness, Sugar, and all this for Samantha Medalon. This was becoming too much like work. With Disco and Eric inside, I decided to walk around and enjoy the night air. Oh, excuse me, Eric, I didn't see you there.
Snow, wait. Just sit here with me for a minute. I just came outside for a smoke.
Is that so?
Don't go.
That all depends, if you can keep your hands to yourself.
Sorry about that, Snow. I can't help myself when I'm around you. You smell so good and your hair is just so nice. You used to love it when I played with your hair. Remember?
Oh, I remember just fine. I remember very fondly, in fact. However, I also remember the fact that you can't seem to tell the truth to save your life.
I suppose I deserve that one.
Yes, you did. However, I guess I am being a little harsh, so... Well, you know how I get when I'm irritated. I suppose I can find it in my heart to forgive you, just this once. And when I got back from my walk, I bumped into Disco on the back porch. He was eating something off a plate. I wasn't sure if it was those cremated dead Colombian drug lords or not, but anyhow. Disco, I thought you were gonna go take a shower.
You were hoping to catch me out of my shirt, huh, Snow? Wet and dripping? That's what I thought.
How much have you had to drink, Disco?
I don't know. A six-pack maybe? A couple of pills? A joint? Why, what's it to you?
Now this is where I wish I had chosen my words a little more carefully. It's nothing to me at all.
What, you think you're too good for me, Snow? I'm good enough to buy from, but I'm not good enough to sleep with? What's your fucking problem?
Ow! Disco! You're hurting my arm! What's wrong with you? I didn't mean it like that, nohow!
I got something I want you to see.
Ow! Let go of my arm, you're hurting me. What are those?
They're pearls and jewels. They're for you.
Let go.
You just don't get it, do you, Snow?
Disco, what are you talking about? You're not making any sense. I don't understand.
I'm gonna make you understand.
So Disco proceeded to thoroughly ravish me. Which I can't say as I minded too awful much, because, you know, a good ravishing is good for the soul every once in a while.
Is this what you wanted to see, Snow? Looks like we both got what we wanted after all.
And I guess Disco was feeling a little generous and wanted to explain himself to me. So of course I just was swooning to him and letting him spill his guts, as it were, so I could have some more insight into my situation, as it were.
You see, Snow, I sold you the wrong car. My boss had asked me to take care of the Colombian cartel that had moved in on his turf. I went to the pool hall where I knew they hung out. Hustled them for a couple of games of pool, then we got to talking business. I had told Eric to wait in the car, and I'd be out shortly. Eric had been told something different. Apparently they had leverage over him of some kind, and that leverage was you. Eric probably wouldn't want me telling you, but they threatened to kill you if he didn't do what they wanted, so of course he did it. So we loaded the bodies in the trunk, and we both took off our separate ways. He was supposed to take the car with the bodies, not me. See, the other car had all the jewels in it and the money from all the drug runs they had done. You were supposed to open the trunk, see the money and jewels, and get the love letter I wrote you, but that didn't happen because of Eric and Officer Bronze.
You mean to tell me you've had feelings for me this whole time, Disco? And just now decide to tell me?
I thought it was obvious, Snow.
Why didn't you just come out and say something to me? You know I'm pretty straightforward and upfront with anything. Well, let's grab a bite to eat. I'm famished after all that ravishing. Oh my goodness. So of course I prepared us a snack, and I crushed up a number of those Valium and put them into his drink. And then I just waited for it to take effect. It didn't take too long though, because he kept pounding back the beer like it was water.
Why does the room feel all kinda marshmallowy? Oh man.
Once he collapsed, I dragged him out by the pool. I had half a mind to throw him in, but he was my disco pharmacologist, and he wasn't that bad at a good ravishing, so I figured I'd just get him out of the picture for now, and deal with any of the consequences later. I didn't know it at the time, but Eric had been watching the whole thing. Needless to say, he was fired up. When Eric walked in and was glaring at me, I was finishing up my cocktail, and I gave him a little look back in my eyes like, "How are you doing, sugar?" Eric may not look like it much right now, but at the time, he was very quick on his feet, and he was behind me in an instant and had a towel around my neck. Oh my goodness, sugar, I thought I was a goner. Now, while the lack of oxygen to my brain was causing me quite a bit of distress, this is what he said to me.
What were you thinking, Snow? What was your plan? Drug me too, and then kill a cop, your disco pharmacologist, and your ex-boyfriend? What were you thinking, Snow? Who do you think you are?
Oh my goodness, sugar. I bet you're wondering what happened to me, huh? Well, I couldn't leave you there with a little cliffhanger without a preview of what's to come. Oh my goodness. Now remember, Officer Bronze is still in the basement, and he is a strapping young fellow if ever there was one. Oh my goodness. Well, maybe he comes out and rescues me. I don't know, but you'll just have to wait and see. Oh my goodness, there he is. He's a strapping young man. Now, I had to leave you a little bit of eye candy at the end of the television show, because I was having issues with my system making recording things, because the sound is not the quality of which I am most irritated with I can't be bothered. So I had to end the episode because I was not satisfied with the quality. But of course I couldn't leave you without anything to watch at all when we come home for the holidays for Yuletide. So tune in next week to see what happens with Snow Marquette and What's a Girl to Do.